It's Tuesday, October 8. In the headlines, Statin reports that Jamaica's unemployment rate has fallen to 4.2%, and the police force calls for the public's support in the fight against gangs. In business news, 190,068 approved applications for the government's reverse income tax credit. Regionally, Antigua and Barbuda explores recruiting math teachers, specialist workers from India. And in sports, Cavalier SC beat Dumbarton FC 4-1 in the Jamaica Premier League. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Jamaica's unemployment rate has fallen to 4.2%. That data comes from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin. Statin says the data was tallied as at April under its new system. In its latest report, Statin revealed that the country's unemployment rate stood at 4.2%, down 1.2 percentage points from the 5.4% recorded in January. Statin says in April 2024, there were 62,800 unemployed persons in the country. Most of those unemployed, 58.1%, were females. Statin is also reporting that there were 29,400 unemployed youth between the ages of 15 and 24 years in April 2024. Of that number, 15,100, or 51.4%, were males. According to Deputy Commissioner of Police Warren Clark, the public will be seeing targeted joint operations between the police and soldiers based on intelligence and operational expertise.
We are focused on apprehending wanted and other individuals who are at the center of violent crimes. I can assure you this is already yielding positive results.
The senior officer was speaking at the recent launch of the Interagency Operations Forum, aimed at combating the ongoing criminal activities of gangs in Jamaica. According to the police, there are an estimated 180 active criminal gangs operating in Jamaica. In August, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness declared a total assault on gangs across the island. He pledged that, quote, government will use this opportunity to deal with the gangs once and for all, end quote. His comments followed the murder of 8 Jamaicans at Cherry Tree Lane, Clarendon, in a gun attack. DCP Clark is calling on members of the public to cooperate with the security forces as they work to eliminate gangs.
Your trust and support are critical to the success of this mission. Together, we will make Jamaica safer, dismantling the criminal networks that hinder our development and the peace of our communities. We urge everyone to play their part. If you see something, say something. You can report gunmen by calling Crime Stop at 311, Police Emergency at 119, the National Intelligence Bureau tip line at 811, or any police you trust.
The Press Association of Jamaica is concerned about claims by supporters of the country's 2 main political parties against journalists and media houses, suggesting they are politically aligned. The PAJ, in a statement on Monday evening, said that this claim could have deeper implications for the profession and those who work as media professionals. The PAJ says the concern surrounds claims made in a video circulating online that falsely accuses the chairman of the RJR Gleaner Communications Group of directing editorial policy and links journalists at the Gleaner to the People's National Party, PNP. Other issues highlighted as a cause for concern by the PAJ include what it calls the recent broadside by PNP President Mark Golding at his party's annual conference, where he labeled segments of the profession as, quote, JLP-aligned media houses, end quote, and attempts by PNP supporters to falsely link the Jamaica Observer Limited's Deputy Managing Director to influencing editorial policy. The association adds in its statement, quote, "We will not stand idly by while our members face harassment, intimidation, or smear campaigns. We urge all Jamaicans to join us in condemning this attack on press freedom and reaffirming our commitment to a free and independent media." End quote. With less than 3 months left in the year 2024, some students are facing challenges in the new academic year, and some Jamaicans are reflecting on their goals for the year, how far they've come. We can face some amount of pressure, but there are steps you can take to ensure your mental health remains a top priority. Clinical psychologist Dr. Kai Morgan has some valuable insights.
Dr. Morgan, this is a group about mental health, right? What is it really about?
Yes, Karis, a group around mental health. And really what that is about is our state of mind.
Whatever life brings our way, Doc, sometimes life rough,
Yeah, it does come with some heavy things, Jaden. Difficult times and situations for many of us. And there are situations then that will make us laugh, will make us cry, will make us anxious, will make us disappointed. All these different things are a part of life, and sometimes they become too overwhelming for us. And that's when we really need to kind of figure out how we're gonna cope with it. So at that point, sometimes it's important to seek help, like come into this group session, or even if it is just talking to somebody who is really listening to you, that you trust, in order to kind of help you to cope.
What are some of these habits for my mental health?
Here's the thing that we want to make it super important that you take care of yourself, your whole self, not just your physical self. So we eating right, we are talking to our friends, we're building connections with our family, we are thinking about being grateful, right? Looking at who we are and what it is and building that, what are our strengths. When it comes to our mental health, we really want to be able to think about what we do really well, what we're awesome at, and focus on that, build that, as we kind of think about the challenges that we have as well. But we don't want to focus on that, we want to focus on what it is that we do well.
Okay, so how do we do this?
You can first of all sit down and make a list. All those good things are in your life that you're thankful for, that you're grateful for, because gratitude is really important. And take steps to kind of put things in order in your life. Getting that exercise, going to the gym, playing football, maybe doing a little yoga or whatever. Don't forget laughter. Laughter is really important. That's an incredible remedy. And if you find yourself alone, remember that that's not the same thing as being lonely. Try picking up a book maybe, right? Looking into something that you're interested in but you never got to explore it, and watching YouTube. And you can even use that for your work too, some of the schoolwork that you find difficult and find topics. Get into new skills, maybe learn a language, some kind of hobby that you're interested in, and something that maybe can be exciting for you.
So I see now, Doc, it's about building our strength in our connections around me and within. And it's not just about, building a little muscle on the side.
That's right. Not just about the muscle, it's about taking care of all of you, all the parts, so that you're best prepared for life when these things come your way.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, reported that the value of imports from the CARICOM region fell by 8% between January to May 2024. This was due mainly to a decline in the value of food and mineral fuels imports from CARICOM. Statin states that spending on goods coming into the country from the region was valued at US $165.3 million. For the similar 5-month period last year, these imports were valued at US $179.7 million. Minister of Finance, Dr. Nigel Clark, stated that there were 190,068 approved applications for the government's reverse income tax credit. The government estimates that approximately 580,000 Jamaican taxpayers will benefit from the initiative. It is expected to cost approximately 11.4 billion Jamaican dollars. The application period for the reverse income tax credit is October 2 to December 2. The reverse income tax credit provides a one-off $20,000 credit to individual taxpayers who earn less than $3 million annually. Garnett Reed, president of the Small Business Association of Jamaica, SBAJ, states Valerie Vieira, CDJP, a dedicated public servant and visionary who has spent more than 2 decades championing the growth and development of Jamaica's small, micro, and medium enterprises. As she demits office as Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, the SBAJ sends its heartfelt appreciation for her profound impact. Revered as the mother of Jamaican MSMEs, Ms. Vieira has nurtured, guided, and mentored a generation of entrepreneurs, empowering them to turn ideas into thriving businesses. As she passes the baton to the next generation of leaders at the JBDC, the SBAJ joins entrepreneurs, partners, stakeholders, and staff in raising their hats in gratitude. During trading for the period October 7, 2024, the following companies represent the top 3 most active stocks that investors bought and sold on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Financial and insurance conglomerate Sagicor Group Jamaica Limited with 2,471,284 units represented 21.58% of the total market volume in terms of sales. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 1,500,904 units represent 13.10% of the total market volume in terms of sales. Gas station operator Future Energy Source Company Limited ordinary shares with 1,138,113 units represented 9.94% the total market volume in terms of sales. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies on the stock market, we turn to the Forex market. On October 7, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $57.48 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $50.32 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $158.74 and bought the US dollar for $157.11. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.63, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of $1.24 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $117.11 and bought for $115.87. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $3.66, selling it for $207.68 and buying it for $204.02. For our credit report tip of the day, what happens when you turn 45 but you haven't met your goals, you're just paying debt, and you feel like your credit worthiness hasn't grown? Well, we have 2 strategies to help you manage the process of rebuilding your credit worthiness after 45. First, don't close any of your old accounts. The length of your credit history is key to your score. Keep older accounts open and active by making small, regular purchases and paying them off. Secondly, diversify your credit mix. Have different types of credit cards, mortgages, installment loans, and this helps improve your credit score by showing you can manage multiple types of credit. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed, stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown says the government is to explore getting expert mathematics teachers from India to improve students' performance in the subject. The head of government says talks will also be held about tapping the Asian giant for specialist construction workers, as Antigua and Barbuda continues to experience a boom in the sector. Garfield Burford reports.
So there's a, we call it gamusa in Assam. It's a handle woven by local artisans.
India's Minister of State for External Affairs presenting Prime Minister Honorable Gaston Brown with a keepsake from his country. Antigua and Barbuda's close diplomatic ties with India highlighted by Prime Minister Brown.
India was one of the first countries to have established diplomatic relations with Antigua and Barbuda back in 1981 when it became independent. But more so, India obviously was the catalyst for the independence movement that took place here in the Caribbean as well as in Africa.
The head of government also emphasized India's inspiring economic growth and its benevolence during COVID-19 when tens of thousands of doses of vaccines were provided to the Twin Island state.
You can continue to count on our support. Your Prime Minister and I have had very good relations. We've met in a number of different fora, and we hope to continue to strengthen the bilateral relationship between both our countries, to continue to strengthen cooperation in various areas, in health, in education. You have assisted us in training in many areas, helping our people to build capacity.
So clearly practical benefits from the bilateral relationship, while the Prime Minister believes there is a low-hanging fruit to further deepen those ties.
I know currently we have visa-free arrangements for diplomats and officials, but you also have a number of students who are also studying here in Antigua and Barbuda at our medical school.
The head of government proposes including students in the visa-free arrangements. The Prime Minister also broached another pragmatic area of cooperation that can be explored.
We need some math teachers, and we have some other gaps within the economy that we need to fill. Perhaps we may even have to look to India for some specialized construction workers too, because that is an area in which we've been struggling for some years now.
The Indian State Minister for External Affairs points to his country's willingness to continue to support Antigua and Barbuda in key areas of capacity building.
In Guyana, the Agricultural Information System, AIS, was launched on Monday, marking a key move towards improving the sector through technology. Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa highlighted the need for technology to enhance services and data systems. The AIS includes a farm register with farmer biodata, farm georeferencing profiles, and a survey module for managing farm surveys. More from Newsroom Guyana.
The importance of digital transformation was highlighted at the launch of the Agriculture Information System, or AIS for short, on Monday at the Artichon Conference Center. The AIS was developed to enable Ministry of Agriculture Extension officers to operate more efficiently. Developed by Intellect Storm, the AIS tracks the support or assistance received by farmers, including interactions with extension officers and records of which officers visited a farm. CEO of Intellect Storm, Rowan Willibus, said the system will allow for real-time data gathering.
We will know, for example, how much square feet we have of shade house or greenhouse, or how much cubic feet we have of concrete ponds in a particular place. This is my favorite part of the system, being able to add commodities or produce or commodities rather to the farm. In this instance, we have what we call behind the scenes, the stages of growth for every item. So by knowing the stages of growth and knowing when something is on the farm, the system will automatically tell you when it moves into harvest or when it's ready for reaping or that kind of thing.
The project was funded by the IDB. Anton Edmonds, the IDB Caribbean General Manager, reiterated that the launch of the system also supports economic prospects.
This initiative highlights the promising trajectory of Guyana's agricultural sector towards modernization, increased productivity, and sustainable development. As the General Manager of the Caribbean Country Department, I'm really happy to be here and with this particular initiative. Food security in the region is one of the key pillars of our new program, our One Caribbean initiative. And I come to Guyana to learn firsthand what to do right, and then hopefully we can replicate it in the other countries of the Caribbean.
Meanwhile, Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa, during his remarks, said the system will address challenges with data collection.
We are launching a system, an agriculture information system, where we are hoping that this will help us to plan and plan effectively. We, all of us who are in the agriculture sector, would know that we have had a number of issues in relation to data collection. So much so when we had the first one we had, when we had one of the most devastating floods in the history of our country, we had a number of issues to identify beneficiaries.
The launch of the AIS aims to drive efficiency, boost productivity, and streamline the ministry's internal processes. Training has already begun for extension officers. The AIS will only be used internally at the ministry, but in the future it will be made available to farmers. For Newsroom, Isanella Patwo.
In Belize, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade will host a regional workshop on the Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction Agreement for Caribbean Small Islands Developing States in Placencia. The workshop aims to deepen understanding of the agreement and provide technical support for Caribbean nations to join and implement it. The BBNJ agreement highlights the unique challenges faced by SIDS and encourages their active participation in global decision-making. Belize recently became the first Caribbean nation to ratify this landmark agreement under the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea.
It's a real honour to be asked to say a few words to you here at the beginning of this really important event. The UK government is really delighted to partner with the government of Belize in hosting this conference. When CEO Mai, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, asked whether we were willing to fund this event, we felt very strongly that this was an area of mutual interest in which we wanted to work together. As many of you will know, we recently had a general election in the United Kingdom, which resulted in the appointment of a new government. A few weeks ago, in his very first major foreign policy speech, the Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, stated that the UK government will put climate and nature at the heart of our foreign policy, and that the ambition is for the UK to again become a world leader in this very important issue. And the fact that that was his very first major policy speech was on climate and nature, I think underlines just where the UK is coming from on this. Since the election, the UK has lifted its de facto ban on onshore wind in England, pledged to end new oil and gas licences while guaranteeing a fair transition of the North Sea, and has closed the last remaining coal plant, and that's all taken place in the last 100 days. The UK is very supportive of the BBNJ agreement, recognising it as an important step towards coordinated global action to tackle the climate and nature crisis. We also view it as a victory for multilateral diplomacy and the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. The UK signed the BBNJ agreement when it opened for signature on 20th September 2023. We remain completely committed to the ratification of the BBNJ agreement, and we are working to support other states to ratify through a Commonwealth Secretariat project to support smaller Commonwealth states in ratification. We really do applaud Belize for being the first Caribbean country to ratify the agreement, and I have to say you're way ahead on us that we haven't ratified yet. But this also highlights Belize's continued commitment to safeguarding 30% of the ocean by 2030 and as leaders in ocean conservation. We've partnered with Belize on a number of projects over the years, particularly in the marine economy, and I'm constantly amazed at just what is achievable here, but also what still needs to be done. The UK stands as a very, very proud partner to Belize, and again commends Belize on its leadership in this area. So with that, I will let others follow on, and I wish you a very, very successful conference, and I look forward to hearing the outcomes and following what comes next. Thank you very much.
In sports, we kick off with football news. Defending champions Cavalier SC came from a goal down to beat Dumbarholden 4-1 on Monday and maintain their position at the top of the points tables in the Jamaica Premier League. Cavalier are on 10 points from 4 games, 1 point ahead of Montego Bay United, who clipped Arnett Gardens 1-0 at the Montego Bay Sports Complex. Over to chess, as Jamaica's open and women's team finished atop their respective zones after 11 grueling rounds of play at the 45th Chess Olympiad held in Budapest, Hungary, September 10 to September 23. The open team, which consisted of FIDE Master Joshua Christie, FM Shoyas Smith, FM Raheem Glaves, FM Jaden Shaw and Darren McKennis, finished the tournament on 10 points, the same as Trinidad and Tobago, Haiti and the Netherlands Antilles. When the tie breaks were employed, Jamaica came out on top of Zone 2-3-3, which includes all the countries of the English, Dutch and French-speaking Caribbean. The Open tournament was won by India with 21 points ahead of the United States of America and Uzbekistan, both on 17 points. And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.